Imagine this. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You finished lunch an hour ago. Sandwich, chips, soda. Standard stuff. But right now, your eyelids feel like concrete. Your brain is wrapped in fog. Every email blurs together. Your body feels heavy, sluggish, like you're moving through water. Everything annoys you. You tell yourself it's normal. Everyone gets the post-lunch crash, right? Now imagine a different reality. Same time, same desk, but you feel sharp. Your thoughts move fast and clean. Your energy is calm, steady, like a river that just flows. You're not fighting to stay awake. You're not reaching for that third coffee. You're just clear. In control. The difference between these two versions of you? One meal. One choice on your plate. But here's what most people don't realize. That foggy, exhausted version of you isn't just an inconvenience. When you eat the wrong meal, something sinister happens beneath the surface. For the next 4 to 5 hours, your body enters what scientists call postprandial inflammation. Post-meal inflammation. Your blood vessels constrict. Your immune system goes on high alert. Free radicals flood your system like tiny grenades going off in your cells. Your biology is essentially in a disease state. Not chronic, not yet. But a temporary emergency. Eating 3 of these meals a day means you're spending most of your waking life in crisis mode. The villain here is the glucose roller coaster. That sandwich, those fries, that sweetened drink. They look harmless. But the moment they pass your lips, they unleash chaos. Your blood sugar spikes like a rocket. Your pancreas dumps insulin into your bloodstream. That insulin shoves the sugar into your cells so aggressively that your blood sugar crashes. When it crashes, your brain screams for more fuel. So you reach for a snack. Another spike. Another crash. All day long, you're riding this violent wave, and it's aging you faster than years on a calendar. Every spike damages your blood vessels. Every crash starves your brain of steady fuel. But there's a way out. A specific combination of nutrients that doesn't just prevent this damage. It flips a biological switch that allows your body to repair damage while you're digesting. Not tomorrow. Not after weeks. Right now. The most critical changes don't happen in your stomach. They happen in a tiny part of your brain, deep in the hypothalamus, that controls your hunger, your mood, your future. And most people are starving it to death. So what happens inside your biology the moment you swap that burger for the right fuel? The first time you choose the right meal, your brain might rebel. You sit down to grilled salmon, leafy greens with olive oil, roasted vegetables, half an avocado. Real food. And here's what's strange. You don't get that instant rush. No dopamine explosion. No sugar high. It feels quiet. Your brain is looking for fireworks, and all it's getting is a steady hum. That's because you've been hijacked. For years, ultra-processed foods have been training your reward system to expect a nuclear explosion every time you eat. But what's happening beneath that quiet surface is extraordinary. Within 20 to 30 minutes, the second meal effect begins. This is one of nutritional science's most underrated discoveries. When you eat the right meal, protein, healthy fats, fiber, your body doesn't just handle that meal better. It creates a metabolic buffer for the next time you eat. Hours later, your blood sugar won't spike as violently. Your insulin response will be calmer. One good choice is helping your future self. That's not willpower. That's biology working in your favor. Think of 2 types of fire. The first is dry kindling and newspaper. You light it, and it explodes into huge flames immediately. Hot, dramatic, but 15 minutes later it's just smoke and ash. You have to keep throwing more kindling on constantly. That's processed carbs and sugar. Burns hot and fast, creates inflammatory smoke, then crashes. Now imagine a fire made of thick oak logs. It takes a minute to catch. But once it's going, it burns steady and clean for hours. No smoke. No frantic stoking. Just consistent heat. That's protein, healthy fats, and fiber. You become a clean-burning fire. The mechanism behind this is insulin sensitivity. This is where most people's health lives or dies. Think of insulin as a traffic controller in your bloodstream. When you eat junk, you flood the streets with thousands of cars at once. Sugar molecules everywhere. The controller panics, blowing his whistle, waving his arms, trying to get these cars off the road. He shuts down lanes. He redirects traffic into storage lots, your fat cells. The whole system is chaos. After doing this multiple times daily, the cars stop listening. They ignore his signals. That's insulin resistance. Your pancreas has to produce more and more insulin just to do the same job. Eventually, the system breaks down. But when you eat the right meal, the traffic is light. A few cars trickle in steadily. The controller easily directs each one where it needs to go. Amino acids to your muscles. Fatty acids to your cells for energy. Glucose gets parked in muscle cells and liver where it belongs. No chaos. No emergency. No inflammation. Studies in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show that stabilizing blood sugar like this improves cognitive function and mood within hours. Not days. Hours. Your brain fog lifts because your brain is finally getting steady fuel instead of being jerked around on that glucose roller coaster. If you've tried eating healthy before and failed, it wasn't lack of willpower. It was a biological hijack. When your insulin spikes and crashes, it blocks the signals that tell your brain you're full. The hormone leptin can't get through. You weren't weak. You were fighting a rigged system. But once the traffic clears and your blood sugar stabilizes, your body stops fighting fires and starts doing something magical. It begins to clean house. We're at the 3 to 4 hour mark now. Your stomach has finished the heavy lifting. And this is where most people think the story ends. Wrong. This is where the magic begins. When you're not constantly shoveling food into your system, something profound happens at the cellular level. Your body shifts gears. It stops being in constant growth and storage mode and enters repair and renewal mode. Scientists call this metabolic switching, controlled by two master regulators, mTOR and AMPK. Think of mTOR as the build and grow signal. When you eat, especially protein, mTOR activates. It tells your cells to grow, divide, store energy. You need this. But if mTOR is always on, if you're constantly snacking, your cells never get a chance to clean up. They're accumulating damaged proteins, broken organelles, cellular trash. Like a construction site where builders never stop to sweep up. Eventually, the site becomes so cluttered that work slows down. That debris is one of the primary drivers of aging and disease. Now enter AMPK. The repair signal. When your body isn't overwhelmed with processing food, when your blood sugar is stable, AMPK gets activated. And AMPK does something extraordinary. It calls in the microscopic janitors. It triggers autophagy. Millions of tiny cleaning crews inside each cell, sweeping up damaged proteins, broken mitochondria, accumulated garbage. They package it up, break it down, and recycle the parts. Your cells literally eat their own trash and turn it into fuel or building blocks for new structures. This process won the Nobel Prize in 2016. And you can activate it just by eating the right meal and spacing your meals properly. Let's talk about your gut. That fiber-rich meal wasn't just filler. That fiber is a peace offering to trillions of bacteria living in your intestines. Here's the paradox. You're not just eating for you. You're eating for an entire ecosystem that has more control over your mood, your immune system, and your health than you imagined. When you feed gut bacteria fiber, the good ones ferment it and produce butyrate. Anti-inflammatory gold. Butyrate heals your gut lining, reduces inflammation throughout your body, and even travels to your brain where it protects your neurons. But when you feed those bacteria sugar and processed carbs, the bad guys take over. They produce toxins. They create inflammation. They send signals to your brain that make you crave more junk. It's not your fault you can't stop thinking about donuts. It's bacteria hijacking your cravings because they want to be fed. The right meal starves bad bacteria and feeds good ones. You're literally changing your inner ecosystem with every bite. And here's what you start to feel. Instead of that mid-afternoon crash, instead of needing a nap or another coffee, you feel something different. A surge of steady, calm energy. Not jittery. Not anxious. Just clear. Your body has achieved metabolic flexibility. It can switch seamlessly between burning the food you just ate and burning stored fat for fuel. You're not dependent on constant eating anymore. You're not a slave to the snack drawer. You feel liberated. You actually want to move. Your body is whispering, let's go. Let's use this energy. Here's something that sounds unbelievable until you understand the science. 90% of your serotonin, the chemical that makes you feel happy and calm, isn't produced in your brain. It's produced in your gut. The neurotransmitter that antidepressants try to increase is manufactured by cells lining your intestines. When you eat the right meal, rich in tryptophan from quality protein, rich in B vitamins and magnesium from whole foods, you're giving your gut everything it needs to produce serotonin naturally. That serotonin communicates with your brain through the gut-brain axis. A two-way highway of signals traveling through the vagus nerve, through hormones, through immune messengers. A calm gut equals a calm mind. When your gut is inflamed, under siege from processed foods and bad bacteria, it sends distress signals to your brain. Your brain interprets those as anxiety, low mood, brain fog. You think you're just stressed. But it started on your plate. The right meal is the most powerful anti-anxiety tool you have. Mental clarity isn't just in your head. It starts in your gut. Let's talk about what you can see in the mirror. Your skin. There's a phenomenon called sugar sag. Every time your blood sugar spikes, excess glucose binds to proteins, especially collagen and elastin, the structural proteins keeping your skin firm. This process is glycation. Once it happens, those proteins become stiff, brittle, dysfunctional. Your skin loses bounce. It wrinkles. It ages. And this same process is happening to collagen in your blood vessels, joints, organs. The right meal stops glycation in its tracks. It protects your collagen. It literally slows down visible aging from the inside out. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this sustainable? Will I be eating bland meals forever? Let me address that. There's a myth that healthy food is tasteless. That's the opposite of truth. Real food is flavor. Fat is flavor. When you eat processed foods loaded with artificial flavors and engineered combinations of sugar and fat, you're numbing your taste buds. You're overwhelming them. They adapt by becoming less sensitive. But when you remove the numbing effect of processed sugar, something incredible happens. Your taste buds reset. They wake up. Suddenly, a ripe strawberry tastes like candy. The richness of olive oil is intoxicating. You're not eating less flavor. You're tasting more. The first week might feel strange because your palate is recalibrating, but once it does, you won't want to go back. The junk food you used to crave will taste artificial, chemical, too much. I'm going to be honest because trust matters. The first week is hard. Your body expects the junk. Your bacteria are throwing a tantrum. Your brain is looking for that dopamine hit. You might feel irritable. You might have overwhelming cravings. That's real. But biology adapts fast. By day 4 or 5, cravings start to quiet down. By week 2, you feel different. By week 3, you can't imagine going back. Your body wants to heal. You just have to give it a chance. Let's shift the timeline. 1 meal equals stabilization. 100 meals? That's transformation. 1,000 meals? Complete biological rewrite. You are not static. You are not locked into the health you have right now. Every single day, your cells are reading instructions from your environment, and food is the loudest voice in that conversation. There's a concept so empowering it should be taught in every school. Epigenetics. It changes everything you thought you knew about your genetic destiny. You were born with certain genes. That's your DNA, and yes, that's fixed. But here's the revolutionary part. Your genes are like light switches. Some are on, some are off. And what determines which switches flip? Your environment. Your stress. Your sleep. And most powerfully, your food. The right meal doesn't change your DNA, but it changes how your DNA is read. It changes gene expression. You can turn off genes associated with inflammation, metabolic disease, accelerated aging. And turn on genes associated with longevity, cellular repair, resilience. You are physically rewriting your biological destiny with every single bite. Think about what that means. Maybe you have a family history of diabetes. Maybe heart disease runs in your family. Maybe you look at your parents or grandparents and think, that's my future. It's not. You're not doomed by your genes. Studies on identical twins show their health outcomes can be radically different based on lifestyle choices. One twin eats the standard modern diet and by 50, they're on 5 medications. The other twin eats real food and they're thriving, medication-free, with the energy of someone decades younger. Same genes. Different choices. Different lives. Now imagine yourself 1 year from now. Not the fantasy version where you've just lost weight. Something deeper. You wake up without an alarm because your circadian rhythm has reset. Your sleep is deep and restorative. You look in the mirror, and your skin has a glow that no cream could create because it's coming from inside. Your eyes are clear. You move through your day without that constant low-grade fatigue you thought was normal. You don't get hangry because your blood sugar is stable. You don't get the mid-afternoon crash because your metabolism is flexible. You don't get sick as often because your immune system can actually do its job. But here's what really changes. Your brain. The fog lifts permanently. Your memory sharpens. Your focus becomes laser precise. Your brain is finally getting the omega-3s, the antioxidants, the stable glucose it desperately needs. Your mood stabilizes. You're not riding the emotional roller coaster anymore because you're not riding the glucose roller coaster. You feel resilient. Challenges that used to overwhelm you now feel manageable. That's not positive thinking. That's neurochemistry. That's a properly nourished brain no longer in chronic stress. And on the inside, where you can't see, your arteries are becoming more flexible. The plaque that was building up is stabilizing, maybe reversing. Your liver is clearing out damage. Your pancreas is recovering its function. You are biologically younger than you were a year ago. Not just healthier. Younger. Because aging isn't just about time passing. It's about cellular damage accumulating faster than your body can repair it. When repair outpaces damage, you're running the clock backward. Food is not just fuel. It's not calories in, calories out. It's information. It's a language. Every meal is a conversation with your 70 trillion cells. And they're listening. They're responding. So what do you want to tell them? Do you want to tell them to store fat, to inflame, to break down? Or to repair, to strengthen, to thrive? The choice is yours. It's a daily conversation. But here's the beautiful part. Each conversation gets easier. Your body starts to expect the right messages. It starts to crave them. There's a phrase I want you to remember. Moderation protects you from immediate harm, but elimination of the junk is what allows you to heal. You can moderate processed food and avoid getting dramatically worse. But if you want transformation, if you want to access your body's full potential for repair and regeneration, you have to give it space. You have to remove the noise so your cells can finally hear the signal. That's not restriction. That's liberation. If you're ready to start this conversation with your body, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to master your own biology. And to stay with us, watch the video on screen. See you there. Peace out.